KHQA. Listen to Y101 and win $50. This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is Saturday, May the 9th, and you have entered overtime, where tonight we're wishing all the wives, mothers, stepmoms, mumsies, and grandmothers out there all the appreciation and gratitude in the world on this, their very special tribute weekend. Now, on the working front, our window of opportunity for local sports felt a little bit squeezed, with the action sandwiched on all sides by both the threat and the reality of looming storms. That established, we did accomplish what we needed to on this busy Saturday, both near and far. And we lead off with the latter, far, and those red-hot Quincy University Hawks taking care of business yet again over in Indiana. Quincy University punches its ticket to the GLVC championship game with a win over William Jewell, a team that had beaten them 4 straight times coming in today. Revenge sweet for Josh Raby's crew, which wins its 14th game in a row. Dominic Miles with a triple in that game and a run scored, the pride of Quincy Notre Dame. Big day as well in this one for Peter Cunningham. He of the torn labrum in his shoulder still drove in 3 runs today with an RBI triple. And so Quincy University has a chance to play tomorrow and avenge itself against the team that, well, basically squashed Quincy University's chance to win the GLVC conference last year. It will be a Drury-QU rematch coming up in the championship game tomorrow. That game set for 11 a.m. Drury taking care of business, albeit in very strange fashion tonight. Their game with Southern Indiana was delayed, I guess, in the 3rd inning, as I read it, for about 5 hours. They finally just resumed this thing and got it over. Drury, who came in as the 7th seed, red hot, that right now they knock off Southern Indiana 11-7 your final. So again, QU Drury tomorrow. If QU wins, it will be the Hawks' first GLVC championship since 2011, and that would be impressive indeed. Well, we dipped our first toe into the spring sports postseason pool coming up on Monday with district golf. Last night, we had a little bit of the amuse-bouche action with our first hint of playoff soccer. And today, the first substantial course of stretch drive with the opening of Small School Missouri Track and Field, and the road to Reed Stadium began for some of the area's best in a loaded district today at that brand spanking new facility in Monroe City. Great place to host. Great start in this one. The high jump. Bryson Ivy of Louisiana clears 5'11". That would put him with 3 others into the 6-foot mark. Only one guy could clear 6 foot, and that was this guy, Mark Twain's Tyler Elledge, who had a big day today. High jump champion there. We start off here with the boys 4x200 meter. Noah McAfee kicks it off from Monroe City out of the gate. Cody Porter brings it home in a time of 1:33.75 for Monroe City to pick up the team relay victory. Louisiana trying to do the same in the 4x200 meter. Denise Blackwell making up ground fast, as you can see here down the stretch in that final 200 meter. Unfortunately, she could not nip the winner in this one, but Louisiana settles for 2nd place. Good day for the Louisiana girls. We'll talk more about them in a second. How about the mile? And because nepotism matters, this is Rochelle Chin doing the passing thing in the last lap, the 4th and final lap of the 1600 meter. Miss Chin from South Shelby takes over the lead, and she's going to run away with this thing down the stretch. She got her kick, and she kicked well in this one. She had a pretty big day as well, as did South Shelby. As you see, Miss Chin going to finish up strongly to give herself the championship in the mile. It was a good day all around for Shelbina 1600 meter runners. Later, it would be her teammate Drew Woods on the boys' side trying to make it a Shelbina sweep in the 1600 meter. Great job, Rochelle. Right here, it is Drew Woods taking over the lead down the backstretch, as he would end up beating Sawyer Powers by about 4 seconds in this one to win the mile. South Shelby wins the boys and the girls' mile today. Good showing from both of those squads as well. How about we move it on up back to the field events, as you see Mr. Drew Woods give a little thanks crossing the finish line right here as well. Boys long jump, the only gentleman in the field to clear 20 feet today. This guy, Bryson Ivy, he's got some kick to him right there. Louisiana's finest going over 20 right there for the win. In the shot put, looked like Michael Davis, Louisiana, was going to come back and win this thing, as he threw 42 feet right here to take over the lead. Logan Minter of Monroe City would not let that stand. Mr. Minter winning both the disc and the shot put today, throwing 42.04 there for the victory. Speaking of Monroe City, boys 400 meter, Cody Porter, just a sophomore, gets the win right here in a time of 51.53 over Scotland County's Tristan Keiss. Girls 400 meter, South Shelby's Brittany Robinson trying to catch the runner from Barat Academy, but just can't do it. She finishes for a very strong second place finish in that event as well. How about the girls 300-meter intermediate hurdles? Easy for me to say. Denise Blackwell of Louisiana. Boy, she's good in the jumping events. She's also really good in the sprint. She's good at just about everything. She beats Carolyn Weatherfield of South for a time of 48.60 to claim a district championship there. On the boys' side, no one's catching Noah McAfee of Monroe City, running on his home turf in this one time of 41.51. That is a new personal best for him. Held off Tyler Elledge, no small affair either, so that's a great win for Noah McAfee. There's a young man whose name you want to watch going into state, and he actually hit a hurdle, so he could have been even faster than that. On the girls' side, 800-meter, we've got Emily Okenfuss of Monroe City, the freshman, out leading the pack, beating Rochelle Shin, and pretty good field at the end to win the 800-meter. Monroe City showing out boys and girls side as well in the 800-meter. This is Jonathan Shuck. His mom wasn't real happy with the race he ran, but it was still good enough to win today. Shuck finishes in a time of 2:02.58 to take that title. Also want to show you the boys 100-meter. We did not get a champion there, but we got a great run against really good competition. Check out lane number 2. South Shelby's own Brett Threckold would end up finishing third today. He really didn't have a great prelim, but he really brought it here against some fast runners for a third-place finish as well. Some of the other champions of the district today we didn't get a chance to talk about. Tyler Elledge, as I mentioned early on, not only won the high jump, won the 110-meter hurdles, which he tends to do. And speaking of guys who are absolutely automatic, defending state pole vault champion Chase Penowell jumped over 14 feet today to win the district title there as well. On the boys' side, good distance events as well for Monroe City, both in the 3,200-meter and the boys 4x8, which featured the team of Christian Pugh, Trey Gander, Sawyer Powers, and Jonathan Shuck there as well. How about other winners today? Trace Windsor ends up winning the, as I mentioned, the triple jump today from South Shelby, and Logan Minter, as I mentioned earlier, won the disc and the shot as well. On the girls' side of things, Kelby Painter from Monroe City, pole vaulting, that's what Monroe City does, gets a championship there. Also, the Mark Twain girls team of Madeline Ford, Katie Neff, Mackenzie Lathram, and Kaylee Ogle end up winning the 4x8 there for their respective team. More to pass along to you in terms of district champions. Katie Neff, aforementioned from Mark Twain, wins the 3,200-meter as well as the Monroe City girls team, which is very good, of Delaney Okenfuss, Emily Burt, and Addie Hayes ends up running away with a 4x4 as well on the girls' side. The Monroe City girls end up winning the team championship with 145 points. The Monroe City boys end up winning the team championship with 136. It's good to be at home, and it's good to be the champion. Also on the boys' side of things today, 2 years ago, Van Far didn't have a single boy on their track team. Today, down in beautiful Festus, and I'm probably the only person who's ever said beautiful Festus, Van Far boys show out. Congratulations to the Blake Logan's crew, which wins the team championship with 156 points, gaining some momentum into sectionals. Also on that front, a couple of individual champs today. It was basically about balance for Van Far, but they did have a couple of winners. Jacob Garner ended up winning the pole vault today, and Sherrod Boomer Connor won both the long jump and the 100-meter. Logan Robinson also top 5 in the 100-meter as well for the boys, so good stuff there. Also want to mention that Lathan McMorris ended up winning the mile for Van Far as well, so that's 5 individual championships for the Indians. Not a huge showing on the girls' side today, locally down in Festus, but Katie Klopsick out of Clopton ended up winning the long jump there. Also want to mention, pretty good day over in beautiful La Plata today for a number of locals, including North Shelby getting some wins today, both from the girls and Haiti Wright, who ended up winning the, Hattie Wright, I should say, apologies, Hattie, who ended up winning the girls' disc championship. Jacob Rich from North Shelby winning the 100-meter for his school as well. Also on the day, Knox County, pretty darn good showing over there. The Knox County girls would finish second in district. The boys finished third, led by Madison McCabe in the mile. Noah Williams, who's just almost automatic in the 200-meter as well. Other champions individually over there included the Knox County girls 4x100-meter team, as well as the Paris boys 4x100-meter team. So congratulations to all involved. Great local showing on the track front from Missouri. Sectionals next week. Also, we start with the Illinois girls next week as well. So lots of goodness coming our way over the next couple of weeks in track and field. Well, between dodging raindrops last night and dealing with the loss of an added venue this morning, Eric Orn and his staff did yeoman's work this weekend to shoehorn in the Q&D softball cluster. The Lady Raiders did have to give up well, a couple of their own games today, but they did have a chance to avenge an earlier loss in the season. That came in a really ugly offensive game for them against Carrollton at the Beardstown Tournament. Round 2 today saw vengeance. Play of the day, though, turned in by first base coach Rick Gengenbacher. Wow, what a stab, barehanded. We slowed it down for you. Guys born on May 23rd are just pretty awesome. I will say that right there. Ashley Wensing pitching well, getting some defense behind her as Q&D turns the 6-3-5 double play right there. And then the offense comes to life in the third inning in this one. Carly Wilson, do your thing. Runner aboard, going straight back up the middle, scores the runner from second, makes it 1-0 Q&D. Emily Kite to the plate as well. Emily Kite with 2 outs, about to extend the inning just a little bit further and extend it well. Emily Kite, powerful hitting right here. Thought maybe this might leave the yard. It just barely stays in. Drives home a pair, makes it 3-0. Miss Wensing needed a little more than that. 3-hitter on the day, and she was just absolutely dominant, as she usually is. Q&D ends up picking up the victory, and a measure of revenge today against their Carrollton tormentors and overlords from the last time around. 6-0 was your final there. How about the West Hancock girls? Got off to an ugly start earlier in the day, lost 3-0, would bounce back here behind Mackenzie Hall. West Hancock, though, down 3-0 in the fifth. Hall helping out her own cause right here with an RBI double, 2 runs scored. Carrollton's lead at that point was 3-2. In your next at bat, the Lady Titans would finally take the lead. Sydney Sawyer, very underrated, doubling to left right here. Miss Hall scores, makes it 3-all at that point. To the sixth we go, and West Hancock's about to explode. Love the Shacklet girls. Oh, nice piece of hitting right here by Miss Shacklet as she singles, 2-run score, make it 5-3. And West Hancock would go on to win this game by the final count of 9-5 on the day. How about Pittsfield taking on a really good Alton Marquette team? They'd score early against the Megan Reinhardt singling right here. Caitlin Place, who's as fast as anyone on the base pass this season, makes it 1-0 Saukeys. Alton just kind of turned out from there on. Scored 12 unanswered in this one and ended up beating Pittsfield by the final count of 12-1 in 5 innings. Meanwhile, Pittsfield played earlier in the day as well against West Central. That's our guy, Chuck Gosnell out of Macomb, umpiring his last game today. He's moving to North Carolina to retire. Class gentleman, great official. We will miss him around here. Megan Reinhardt on the hill, throwing well early. However, disaster early in this one as a great bunt scores a run and then more on the air on the back end of it. Puts West Central up 3-0 early. Pittsfield down 5-0 at one point and then kind of comes to life. Becca Keene right here with a double. That's a great piece of hitting. Said she barely touched it. Well, she drove it a long way. That's at Megan Reinhardt again, who's going to drive her home. Only run of that ball game, unfortunately, for Pittsfield as they end up losing by the final count in this one of 6-1. Big day for the Beardstown softball team. Not only a nice win today over BWP as Olivia Dorr and company end up with a couple of ribbies in this one, but how about this game and how about this win for Samantha Blair? You talk about a confidence builder. She threw a 2-hitter today and beat Megan Flory of Brimfield, who's largely considered one of the best, if not the best pitchers in the state. By the way, Miss Flory had 15 strikeouts today, did not give up an earned run, but she was the hard luck loser to Samantha Blair, who gets it done for her squad. Congratulations to Beardstown. That's a quality set of wins on the day. Baseball today, Macomb at home against West Hancock. Jake Dyer doing some things right here. Getting Macomb going with the dribbler up the middle. It's bobbled as well. Thrown away at first, 2-run score. Bombers lead early 2-0, and then Max Dakin is going to do, well, Max Dakin type things. Max Dakin returns right here. The 2-run homer for him to extend the Bombers out to a 4-0 lead. And Dakin, as I said, helping his own cause. He was absolutely throwing the heater on the hill today. Had the good gas working right here. Strikeout for him. Dakin doing it all today, helping his cause with a sac fly RBI in this one as well to drive home, well, actually a sac RBI right here to drive home Alec Drake. Made it 5-0 Bombers. Bombers win over West Hancock by the final count of 12-0 in that ball game. And we're just getting warmed up here on the Big Overtime Show. Plenty more when we return, including the resurgence of the Q&D soccer offense. We'll see you in just a bit.
All roads lead to Burris hybrids for profit across all of your farm acres. Burris corn and soybeans have the technology in or on